Hiya! So we're going to be learning No Surrender. So this version of the song is in Dad-Gad tuning, so that's D-A-D, G-A-D tuning. So we've just got the low E string tuned down 2 notes, so we're at D. And then we've got the B string tuned down 2 notes as well. And then also the high E string tuned down 2 notes. Then the other 3 strings are just the same, so you end up with this tuning. So then along with that, we've also got a capo on the 3rd fret, like that. But I'll be referring to the frets as if the capo wasn't there, so it's still 7th fret, 9th fret, 12th fret, etc. So there's really only 3 sections to this song. It doesn't use a whole lot of chords, it's just kind of memorizing when the chord changes happen and stuff like that. So we'll start off with the very beginning of the song where we've just got this intro section. So we start off with these 3 chords, which are pretty much the only chords we use in the song. So we've got this first shape here, like this. So here, I've got my index finger on the 8th fret of the A string. Then I've got my little finger on the 10th fret of the G string. And then all the other strings are open, so you've got to make sure that you're not touching any of the other strings. So we've just got open low E string, 8th fret A string, open D string, 10th fret G string, and then open top 2 strings. So we've got that first chord. So then for the second chord, we've got, so here, I've got my index finger barred over the 10th fret of the lowest 3 strings. So we're on 10th fret of the E string, A string, and D string, which I'm just using with my index finger. And then I've also got my little finger on the 12th fret of the G string. So we've got, and then just like we did in the last chord, we've also got open top 2 strings. So again, you've got to make sure that you're not kind of resting your finger on the top strings, because otherwise they won't be able to ring out. So we've got, so that's the second shape. And then finally the third shape we've got, so here I've got my middle finger on the 8th fret of the low E string, my ring finger on the 8th fret of the A string, open D string, and then my my index finger on the 7th fret of the G string. And then just like we did with the other 2 chords, we've got open top 2 strings. So we've got 8th fret low E string, 8th fret A string, open D string, 7th fret G string, and then open top 2 strings. So we've got these 3 chords. We've got the first one, the second one, and then the third one. So then for the strumming pattern, we use pretty much the same strumming pattern for the entire song. So we do this. So this strumming pattern is, so that's just down, down, up, down, up. And we're just doing that over and over again. So down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So that intro is just those 3 chords that we play twice. So it's just, stay on that last chord for double the length of the other 2. So that brings us to the second section of the song after that, which is the verse. So the verse again uses the same chords as the intro, just in a slightly different order. So we start off again with that first shape. So just like before, we're on the 8th fret of the A string and the 10th fret of the G string, and then all the other strings are open. So we've got. So then after that, we're going to go to the second shape again. So again, that's the 10th fret of the lowest 3 strings and the 12th fret of the G string. And then to the third shape, which again is 8th fret of the lowest 2 strings, and then 7th fret of the G string, and then open everything else. So we start off with those 3 chords again in the same order, so we go. But then the only difference is we then go. So that is just back to the first shape again. So again, that's 8th fret of the A string and 10th fret of the G string. So. And then to the second shape again. So that is 10th fret of the lowest 3 strings and 12th fret of the G string. So that's the kind of whole chord sequence, and then we just loop that around. So again, that's just first shape, then second shape, third shape, and back to the first shape, and then to the second shape, and then that loops around again. So that's the whole of the verse. So again, as I said, it just uses the same 3 chords, just in a slightly different order. So then we come to the chorus after that. So we've got. So the chord sequence for the chorus is we start on the first shape, just like we did all the other 2 sections. So. Then to the second shape again. Then to the third shape, so just like we do normally. And then back to the first shape. But then after this we go. So he plays the third shape here slightly different when we play this last section of the chorus. So here I've got my index finger barred over the 8th fret of the lowest 3 strings. And then my little finger is on the 10th fret of the G string. And then just like all the other chords, we've got open top 2 strings. So we've got. And then we just slide that shape up 2 frets. To go back to the second shape, and then finally back to the first shape again. So that whole chord sequence for the chorus, very slowly, is we've got the first shape, second shape, third shape, and then back to the first. Then we've got the slightly different third shape, and up to the second shape, back to the first shape, and then we just loop that around. So we've got. So that's the chorus. So that actually makes up pretty much the whole of the song, because then after that first chorus, we go back to another verse, which is exactly the same, and then another chorus again, which is exactly the same, and then that brings us to the harmonica solo in the middle of the song. So the harmonica solo, what we play over that is just the intro section again. So just like before, it's just that first shape, then the second shape, and the third shape, and then we just loop that around. So it's just the intro again, which is what we play over the harmonica section. Then after that, we just go back to another verse, which again is exactly the same. and then another chorus, which is almost exactly the same, except he ends it slightly different. So I'll just go to the ending of the final chorus. So the only difference here is at the very end of the last chorus, we've got those 3 chords that we'd usually use to end the chorus. So that's how we'd usually end a chorus, but this time he goes, and then he goes back to that chord again. So just to recap, we've got our index finger barred over the whole of over the 8th fret of the lowest 3 strings, then my little finger on the 10th fret of the G string, and then open top 2 strings. So then we're going to slide up 2 frets to end up at the 2nd shape. But then this time he just slides back down to that 1st chord again, and then again slide up 2 more frets to the 2nd one, and then 1/3 time we just go back down 2 frets again, and then up 2 frets again, and then finally back to that 3rd shape. So it just kind of extends the end of that chorus there, so we end up with and then after that, he just plays a quick little outro. So we've got this little outro. So for this little outro, we start off by just playing what we played in the intro. So again, those 3 chords. So we just got that 1st shape, then the 2nd shape, then the 3rd shape, just like we did in the intro. And then we do that again. But this time, all we do is we go to that 3rd shape. And then we're just going to slide that shape up 2 frets, so we end up, so we're just going, and then to end, we just play open everything apart from our index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, so that's just all we're ended on. So as you can see, the vast majority of the song is just those 3 chords, just kind of in different orders. So the trickiest part of the song is just remembering where those chord changes are. But that'll just kind of come with practicing along to the song, and you'll sort of quickly memorize those changes. So I hope it's been helpful for you, and thank you very much.